When you open Surah Ar-Rahman, you are not just reading verses, you are being addressed by the most merciful himself. The very first word is not a command, not a warning, but a name, Ar-Rahman. Mercy before everything else, before law, before accountability, before reward and consequence. Allah introduces himself through mercy. It is as if he is teaching you how to see him before he teaches you how to obey him. He is telling your heart, do not approach me with fear alone. Approach me knowing that my mercy surrounds you. He reminds you that he taught the Qur'an, not just revealed it, but taught it. Teaching requires care, patience, repetition, gentleness. Allah did not just send guidance and leave you to figure it out on your own. He teaches hearts that are willing, minds that are open, and souls that are tired of wandering. Then he reminds you that he created the human being and taught him speech. He gave you the ability to express, to reflect, to call upon him, to cry to him, to say his name when everything else fails. Even when words fail you in this world, he knows what your heart is trying to say. Then Allah turns your attention outward. The sun and the moon move with precision. Nothing is random. Nothing is careless. The stars do not collide by accident, and your life is not unfolding without purpose. The trees bow, the plants submit, the sky is raised with balance, and Allah commands you not to transgress that balance. It is as if he is saying, just as the universe knows its limits, you too must know yours. Justice, moderation, and humility are not restrictions, they are protection. And then comes the question that echoes again and again, shaking the heart awake, which of the favors of your Lord will you deny? This question is not asked once, because forgetfulness is part of being human. Allah repeats it because we forget. We complain about what we lack while standing inside oceans of blessings. Every time the verse returns, it is as if Allah is pausing and asking you personally, are you still unaware or are you beginning to see? He reminds you that he created you from clay and created the jinn from smokeless fire. Different creations, different strengths, different tests, yet the same question is asked to both. Gratitude is not reserved for one type of being. Accountability is not selective. No matter who you are, where you come from, or what you possess, the question remains the same. Allah speaks of the horizons, the east and the west, the seas that meet but do not cross the boundaries he set. Two bodies of water touching yet restrained. From them emerge pearls and coral, treasures formed under pressure and time. Sometimes the most beautiful things are produced in places you cannot see, in moments you would never choose. Allah is teaching you that difficulty does not negate beauty, and pressure does not cancel purpose. He reminds you that everything on this earth will perish. Everything you cling to, every title, every possession, every face you love will one day fade. But then he tells you that his face remains full of majesty and honor. The message is clear. Do not attach your heart to what cannot last. Attach it to the one who never leaves, never weakens, never forgets you. Again, the question returns, which of the favors of your Lord will you deny? Even the reminder of death is a favor, because it frees you from the illusion that this world is enough. It redirects you toward what truly matters. Allah tells you that everyone in the heavens and the earth asks him, and every day he's bringing about new affairs. Your dua today does not get lost because someone else is asking. Your pain does not get delayed because another servant is crying. He is not overwhelmed by the number of voices calling upon him. He is not exhausted by repetition. He is not distracted. He hears you fully, completely, personally. Then Allah shifts the tone. He reminds both humans and jinn that there will be a time when escape is not possible. A time when power, intelligence, and influence will not open a door. This is not meant to crush you with fear, but to liberate you from arrogance. Accountability restores balance. Justice reassures the oppressed and humbles the oppressor. And yet, even after mentioning consequence, Allah returns again to his favors. He describes paradise in breathtaking detail. Gardens with flowing rivers, shade that never disappears, fruits within reach, comfort without anxiety, joy without regret. He speaks of peace, of dignity, of companionship, of rest. He shows you what awaits those who lived with awareness of him, those who struggled, those who fell and returned, those who tried again. Twice he describes two gardens, then again two more gardens, each with its own beauty. Different levels, different rewards. Because people give different efforts, carry different burdens, Fight different battles. Allah does not compare your journey to anyone else's. He measures sincerity, patience, and striving, not public success. And after every description of beauty, generosity, power, and promise, the question returns. Which of the favors of your Lord will you deny? It is not a question of accusation. It is a question of awakening. Allah is training your heart to recognize Him in everything, in ease and hardship, in warning and mercy, in ad-dunya and al-akhirah. Surah Ar-Rahman is not just information, it is a mirror. It forces you to confront your ingratitude without humiliating you, and it invites you to gratitude without pressure. It reminds you that your Lord is not distant, not harsh, not unaware. He is merciful, attentive, just, and generous beyond comprehension. Every repetition is an opportunity to answer differently. At first, your heart may be silent. Then it begins to whisper, "None, my Lord." And eventually, it begins to live that answer through trust, patience, humility, and hope. And as your heart begins to answer, life itself starts to rearrange around that response. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it becomes a lens. You start noticing how mercy shows up in ordinary moments, in breath that comes back after panic, in a delay that quietly protects you, in a door that closed so another one could exist at all. Surah Ar-Rahman trains you to see Allah, not only in the extraordinary, but in the constant, in rhythms you depend on without thinking, in patterns that hold you even when you are unaware. The repetition of the question is also a mercy because it gives you time. Allah does not rush your awakening. He does not demand instant perfection. He asks, then He asks again, then again, allowing your heart to grow into the answer. Sometimes you hear the verse while distracted and it passes over you. Sometimes it lands heavier because loss has softened you. Sometimes it pierces because joy has humbled you. The same words, but different moments, different hearts, different depths. When Allah describes the earth laid out for creation, He reminds you that provision is not accidental. Your sustenance was written before your striving, but your striving is still meaningful. The fruits, the dates, the grains, the fragrant plants are signs that Allah provides through means, through seasons, through patience. You plant something and de-wait. You water it and trust. You don't stand over the soil yelling at it to grow. Your relationship with Allah is not that different. Some things grow quietly beneath the surface long before they appear. And when Allah speaks about balance, about weighing with justice, He is speaking to your inner world as much as your outer one. Balance between hope and fear, between effort and reliance, between ambition and humility. A heart that tilts too far in one direction becomes fragile. Allah does not want you crushed by guilt, nor intoxicated by confidence. He wants you steady, a servant who walks carefully, knowing who holds the scale. The sea imagery returns to remind you that boundaries are not limitations, they are safeguards. When boundaries disappear, destruction follows. In your relationships, in your desires, in your ambitions, limits protect what matters most. Allah's commands are not barriers to joy, they are guardrails that keep you from falling off the path entirely. Which of the favors of your Lord will you deny when even restraint is a form of mercy? Then there is the reminder that every blessing you admire ultimately belongs to Him. Ships sail because He allows the winds. Power exists because He permits it. Beauty captivates because He designed it that way. When Allah asks His question, after describing strength and authority, He is gently removing the illusion that you are self-sufficient. Dependence on Allah is not weakness, it is clarity. It frees you from the anxiety of thinking everything rests on your shoulders. When Allah speaks of a day when the sky will split and turn like molten metal, it shakes you awake, not to paralyze you, but to realign you. If the universe itself will one day unravel at His command, then the chaos you fear in your own life is not beyond His control. What feels like collapse may simply be transition. What feels like an Iman, ding may be mercy in disguise. Even the mention of accountability is wrapped in dignity. Allah does not single out one group and spare another. He addresses all who are given choice and consciousness. Justice is universal. No one is forgotten. No pain goes unnoticed. No quiet act of patience is lost. This is comforting for those who have been wronged and sobering for those who have wronged others. Balance is restored because Allah is just. Then the imagery of gardens returns not as fantasy but as promise. Allah speaks of shade because this world exhausts you. He speaks of flowing water because thirst defines your struggle. He speaks of peace because your heart longs for rest. Paradise is described in language you understand because Allah knows what hurts you here. Every detail is a response to a wound you carry. The descriptions vary, not because Allah favors some unjustly, but because mercy itself is vast. There is room for the one who ran and returned, and room for the one who walked steadily. Room for tears cried in secret and patience shown in silence. Room for those who fell repeatedly but refused to stop turning back. Allah does not erase effort simply because it was messy. And every time the question returns, it feels less like a question and more like an invitation to notice, to soften, to slow down long enough to say, I see it now. Gratitude does not erase hardship, but it gives hardship meaning. It transforms suffering into something that refines rather than destroys. Surah Ar-Rahman also teaches you that remembrance is not linear. You will remember, then forget, then remember again. And Allah does not shame you for that cycle. He meets you in it. He repeats the reminder because He knows you need repetition. The heart rusts quickly and Allah provides polish generously. When you feel overwhelmed by the state of the world, by injustice, by loss, by uncertainty, this surah grounds you. It reminds you that the one who set the sun and moon in precise orbit is not absent from human affairs. The imbalance you witness is not permanent. The scales will be set straight, mercy will prevail, justice will arrive, and when you feel insignificant, like your existence barely registers, Allah addresses you directly. He speaks to you alongside the vastness of creation. You are not too small to be spoken to by the Creator of the heavens and the earth. Your choices matter. Your response matters. Your gratitude matters. The surah does not rush you toward answers. It walks with you through awareness. It teaches you to live with your eyes open, your heart alert, your tongue softened by praise. It teaches you that acknowledging Allah's favors is not about counting blessings on good days only, but recognizing His presence on the hard ones too. Each repetition carves a deeper imprint in the soul, until gratitude becomes instinct, until mercy becomes expectation, until trust becomes refuge. And as the question continues to echo, it begins shaping not just what you say, but how you live, how you endure, how you return, how you hope, how you stand before Allah with a heart that has learned, slowly and sincerely, to see Him everywhere,